5 years, it killed 50 million people, 1/3 of the entire human population of Earth. It wiped out entire villages so completely that nobody was left to bury the dead. It ended feudalism, triggered the Renaissance, collapsed the church, and created the modern concept of human rights. A plague didn't just kill half of Europe, it accidentally rebuilt civilization from scratch. The Black Death originated in Central Asia in the early 1300s, a bacterium called Yersinia pestis that had lived in wild rodent colonies for centuries, suddenly mutated into a form far more deadly to humans. It spread along the Silk Road, the same trade routes that connected China to Europe, carried by fleas on rats aboard merchant ships. In the early 1340s, it had already struck China, India, Persia, Syria, and Egypt. By the time European sailors saw the black swellings on their shipmates, it was already too late to stop. What the plague did to the human body was unlike anything medieval people had ever seen. Buboes, swellings the size of tennis balls, appeared in the groin, armpits, and neck. The skin blackened with gangrene. Victims bled from every orifice. The smell was so overwhelming that doctors wore beaked masks filled with herbs just to approach patients. Most victims were dead within a week, some within 24 hours. The pneumonic form, spread through the air, carried a 90% mortality rate. There was no treatment, no understanding of what caused it, and no way to stop it spreading. Beginning in 1347 and continuing for 5 full years, the Black Death swept Europe, leaving more than 20 million people dead. The population of England alone dropped from around 5 million to about half that. Entire villages ceased to exist. Monasteries were found with every monk dead. Cities ran out of coffins, ran out of gravediggers, ran out of priests to perform last rites. Bodies were thrown into mass graves by the thousands. Europe's overall population would not surpass pre-1347 levels until after 1500, a century and a half to recover. The Black Death did something no army had ever done. It broke the power of the Catholic Church. For centuries, the Church had told people that prayer and faith would protect them, that God punished sinners with disease. But the plague killed priests as readily as sinners. Monks died in their monasteries. Bishops died in their palaces. Because the plague could not be stopped by prayer, the Church lost its authority in ways it never fully recovered from. People began to question for the first time publicly whether the Church actually had the power it claimed. That question eventually became the Protestant Reformation. But here is the darkest twist of all. The Black Death, the worst catastrophe in European history, accidentally gave birth to the modern world. Because so many workers died, the survivors could demand wages. For the first time, peasants had power. Feudalism, the system where serfs were bound to land they didn't own,